So, you want to play Ed? I got you. He's a little bit of a weird boy, but let's go. First, he's got his Psycho Spark. So this is quarter circle forward and the punch button. So if you didn't play him in Street Fighter V before, this used to be just like a normal button. You just click forward and medium punch and then he would do stuff. But he basically puts up like a little spark and you press a button again and he shoots out a little spark. So depending on which one you do, he gets a different speed. What's cool about it is that when you do this, it does actually stop projectiles. So he's actually pretty good in Fireball Wars. If you meter burn it, it also pops the opponent up. So you can do things like this. Oh, you can do things like this. And you can kind of move on and do other stuff from there. Also, when you meter burn it, it's 2 hits. So it's going to help you win Fireball Wars. In the corner, you can kind of do things like this. You know, something like that would be an example. Then you got your Psycho Uppercut. So I don't love his uppercut, but he's got, you know, he's got his light one. He's got the medium one and the heavy one. They're all like different ranges. They actually do increasing levels of damage. All right, cool. The only one that has invincibility is actually the meter burn version, and it does the most damage. So, you know, it's your basic uppercut. Everybody has one, or a lot of people do anyway. It can be used in combos. So the way the combo system works with him is that if you can land one of these, you're almost guaranteed one of these. So this light version, you're going to see in a lot of combo trials. If you go look out combo videos, you're going to see it. You basically have to input it almost instantly, because if not, you're not going to have enough time to get another one off. So I could do something like this, and then I'm going to whiff that. But if I do something like this, I have the time now. I have to do it like instantly. Then you got Psycho Blitz. So Psycho Blitz is pretty cool because you're kind of safe. You're not really safe. They kind of have to be on the ball with it. But yeah, he kind of does like this flurry of strikes. So the normal one kind of just like pushes them away a little bit. The medium one knocks them back, and the heavy one hits them in a hard knockdown. And you have time to kind of like move forward. So yeah, you can see all the startups on the bottom so that you guys don't ask me questions. Yeah. So it's good for combo ending. So normally, you know, you do something like this. You want to finish it off with like a flurry. So the meter burn version, it does pop up, and if you have the right super at the right time, it can make you land on certain things. So it's pretty cool. Also, the meter burn version is completely safe. You're -3, so nothing's gonna touch you. So that's always cool. Next is Psycho Flicker. So Psycho Flicker, he does this little like tether. I want to call it a tether just because it's like, I don't know, it's a cooler name. So depending on which one you do, it's a different angle. So the light one, just straightforward. It is the shortest range, and that has cost me so many games because I think I'm in range and I'm not. The medium one is kind of like, it's a little bit longer. So look, it almost touched DJ there. And then the heavy one is up in the sky. Oh, also, another thing. You could charge these. So when you charge them, they become a full tether and like kind of pull you towards, or pull the opponent towards you, and they're not just a hit. So when do you want to use these? You want to use these like kind of in the mid-range, right? You can use these to like kind of cancel your normals, and look at how much pushback that does. You want to kind of be careful because people can obviously parry this, like perfect parry you and like punish you. But, you know, for the most part, the game's just starting out. You want to kind of be... You can use this as like a control tool almost. So a character, like I was doing a set against Cammy. Cammy has a lot of trouble with this because normally if she can go through my projectile, she's good. But since this is considered a physical attack, she can't really dodge this in the same way, or it's a lot harder for her to challenge. So where I would normally be outranged, with having this, I'm pretty much good in some matchups. So we talked about, yeah, you could charge this, and then you can get uppercuts off. So you can charge it, and you can get certain special moves off, and kind of get some extra damage that way. So that's always cool. What's cool, the OD version, so it does pop you up and does do a little, it's like slightly less damage. But the cool thing about it is that if you manage to get this, you're +4, right? So if your opponent blocks this, you're +4, and you can throw them if you want, because your throw is 5 frames. So they literally have 1 frame to react to it. Or, you know, you can kind of get into your, you know, just any pressure sequence that you want to. And like, they kind of have to take that. So that's always good. And I've seen a lot of people use that online. Then he's got Kill Rush. So Kill Rush can be done on any charging move. So this, for example, you can get Kill Rush. There's just a little dash that he does. It's kind of weird because he doesn't actually dodge projectiles like I thought he would, but he kind of just like does a little dash. And he can do it backwards too. So the backwards is useful when you're like zoning and like you kind of like want to create some distance, right? Or even like when your opponent's about to hit you with something, you just do that, right? Where your backdash wouldn't hit because his backdash is actually kind of slow. But you use something like this and you're pretty much golden. So he's got 2 follow-ups when he does the Kill Rush. The first one, he uses his left hand. It's based off timing. So if you do this quick, he kind of just like pops him. He just hits him quick. Like just, it's -4. So you're kind of like even on block. So you could use that to kind of get in. And the other one's used mainly for combos. So yeah, there's certain combos that you want to use the light one or like the quick one, and there's some of them that you want to use the other hand. So you'll see in combo videos like kind of how that works. So let's talk his buttons. So his buttons are like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's so annoying, but all of his punches are normal. You know, he kind of does boxing normal. So he's got like this kind of like his standing light punch. It's just like this kind of quick jab. It's pretty good. It's fast, right? 4 frames, and it can work as an anti-air sometimes, but I'm just gonna say sometimes. He's got his crouching light punch, really quick. I like this. You can do this, so that's always nice. He's got his standing medium punch. This is gonna be like kind of like your baby. This is like your combo tool, all that stuff. It does a lot of work, you know. This punch to the gut does a lot of work. His crouching medium punch, not as much work, but still works. I kind of just use this as a low tool. It's pretty good at poking people, and you could drive rush off of it and stuff. Then he's got his heavy punch, just a straight punch. But if you charge it, he's got 2 different charges. So his first charge, if you just like hold it for like a second, he kind of goes through the opponent like that. So what's cool about the second charge, you can actually go through projectiles. So there you go. As you can see, you hold it longer, you can go through projectiles, and it's pretty useful. Initially, when I was doing this, I didn't think that like you really just need to hold it for a little bit and you get the full screen. It's full screen, by the way. The full screen like kind of like hit. And people do not see this coming. Not always anyway. People are gonna catch you though. Like if you're here and you're charging it, like they are gonna catch you with stuff. So you just gotta be careful with that. But what's cool about it is because it's a charge move, I can do Kill Rush out of it. So people are thinking that I'm gonna do something, they're gonna attack me, or I can just get out of it. I can't backdash out of it. I can't do the backwards version, but I can do the forwards version. And then yeah, it kind of puts him in a crumple state, so I can kind of like follow up from there, kind of do some other stuff. So here's where we get to the weird stuff, his flickers. So his light kicks or all of his kick buttons are actually punches. He doesn't use his legs ever. They're flickers instead. But they're, you know, they're just a little tricky. So his light kicks are normal. They're pretty standard. 6 frames, ton of range. So, you know, so that's pretty good. -3. And then his crouching one, a little bit less range, but it's +3 when it lands, and then -4 when it's blocked. His kicks, his medium kicks and his heavy kicks are where it messes me up, and I'm sure it's gonna mess a lot of you up. So his standing medium kick is a swipe to the feet, and it's a high attack. This doesn't count as a low. This is a high attack. And his crouching medium kick, he swipes in the air. Who in Capcom designed this? I want to know. I want to know who decided to walk into the office and be like, yeah, just give him this. He'll be fine. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna say this is a bad button because it's not, but it's just annoying the fact that I have to, you know, mentally think about what button to press, because normally medium kicks are just kicks, and then crouching medium kicks are gonna hit crouching, but no, this one hits in the air as well, and they're both high attacks. Then you have your standing heavy kick. Your standing heavy kick is like this aerial swipe, which is so much fun. And your crouching heavy kick is a straightforward flicker. So once you figure out these weird combination of normals that I think they assigned the wrong buttons to, you should be pretty decent with him. He, you know, his flickers have a lot of range, and the frame data is actually not all that bad. So especially if you use them at the right ranges. So for his air stuff, he's got, you know, this kind of downwards punch. This is his jab. It's pretty good. This is a cross up. This is his medium punch in the air, and his heavy punch just does a lot of damage, and you kind of like boom. So his light kick in the air, it does kind of downwards angle. Pretty good for an overhead. You know, it's kind of like a decent jump in. The other one is good for challenging. So this is your medium kick. Good for challenging in the air. It's always nice. And then the heavy one, you can barely see it, but this is good for when people are like trying to jump at you. This is like your air to air. Like when they're coming in at you, you just jump forward and click that. It's pretty decent. So let's talk about his anti-airs. Let's see how far we can get with that. So I told you sometimes light punch, just because it's inconsistent, but it's his fastest button. So that's why I say that. Then you got heavy kick. Heavy kick's pretty decent. I just don't love the angle, because if they're right above you, you're kind of screwed. If like they just do something like this, you're kind of screwed if you mistime it. But you know, it's something you got to get used to. Right now I'm not used to it, so that's why I'm a little 50-50 on it. But his most consistent anti-air is his DP. You know, his light DP. It works a lot better than you might think, because the startup is 10 frames. So when people are coming in, even though this doesn't have invincibility, because the hitbox is already on the screen, like they have a rough time dealing with it. And because it's like literally right over his head, people that do jump ins that are literally right over your head, they also get hit. So for command normals, he's kind of got two. We already talked about the holding of this. You know, that's kind of, you can consider that a command normal. And then he's got his Cobra Punch. So Cobra Punch is not, it's got a bit of startup frames and it's safe, but it's obvious you lose your turn. It's not positive. But it's great for getting in. And even when on hit, it's +1. So you're not really like guaranteed anything. But if someone's doing something kind of, you know, doing like a low attack or something like that, it's pretty good at or dealing with it. So he can kind of like punish low attacks like that. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so he's got a few strings. So first is going to be his, just you mash light punch and you get 3 hits. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but you know, it's fine. And it's +4 if it lands, and it's -1 if it's blocked. So decent, but it just has barely any range. To make up for that, you got the light kick series. So the light kick series are his flickers. If you land them, they're +1, or yeah, they're +1. You want to use it at the right range. Maybe just do 2 instead of all 3, because doing 2, you're -3. But if you do all 3, it is gonna pull you in close. And so that's good with someone that's like kind of pressing a button. Like let's say DJ throws out a strike and I'm punishing his recovery. This is good because it brings me in, you know, and I can kind of continue my pressure. So then we got the workhorse of the group. It's going to be your medium punch, heavy punch. So pretty nice, because after that you are able to do stuff. You're able to cancel that into other stuff. So you're going to see this a lot in combos, just because it's, you know, pretty decent. Then you got double medium kick and to heavy punch. So you do medium kick twice. He does 2 flickers. So the thing about this is that you are -6. They're not great, but they're good at checking people, because this is a pretty long range normal. So you do something like this, and then the heavy is what brings them down. But if they block it, you're -11, so you're gonna eat lead basically. And finally, you got your crouching heavy kick and to heavy punch, which is like an uppercut. So you can't really get anything off of that, but you know, it's just decent damage, I guess. So first, let's talk about his drive rush, because his drive rush is kind of weird. It's like slow. It's like groggy in the beginning, and then it kind of picks up pace. I don't tend to use it, but then again, I'm just getting back into Street Fighter 6, so I don't really know like the ins and outs, because I would play DJ, and DJ's got a broken drive rush. But you know, for him, it's kind of like, it's fine. It reminds me of Zangief a lot. You could do your light punch into drive rush, so maybe you can do this and kind of throw them. So not a bad option. But mainly you're gonna want to do medium punch into this. You want to do crouching medium punch into this, right? Or you want to do crouching heavy kick into this. So these are your options you kind of have, and then you can kind of work your way around that. So you can do something like this, and then, you know, kind of keep going like that. His super. So first he's got Psycho Storm. So quarter circle forward, twice, and kick. Kind of just punches you a lot. like the rest of his kit. So basically he just, yeah, he's doing that, and it's invincible on startup. So that's cool. So the thing that I really wanted them to bring over from Street Fighter V was his V-Trigger 2, I think it was. And it's the Psycho Cannon, and that's his level 2. It looks like this. He gets a big orb. It's not as big, or like visually, it's not as big as the orb in Street Fighter V, but that's fine. This is a fucking god tier, like, super, in my opinion. It's such a strong projectile, and because you're able to run with it, like I could do things like this, right? And then just, and kind of like, you know, just mix people up. It's a huge visual block. It's great all around. So they have this combo that's like this in the character tutorial. Something like that. I should have landed that uppercut, but you get the idea. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of like play basketball with your opponent. It's kind of sick. I like that. And then finally, he's got his Psycho Chamber, which is just like your traditional level 3. Visually, it's pretty cool. I don't think it goes very far, if I'm not mistaken, but you know, it does damage, and it's cool. Nice little visual. So for weaknesses, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what makes a character good in Street Fighter, but what I do know is that this guy's basically a mid monster. He has no mix. Like, I think he's only got like 2 lows or something like that. I know this is one of them. And this is one of them. I think he's only got these 2. He doesn't have an overhead. Like, in order for you to do an overhead, you'd probably have to do something like this. But then, like, you're not really getting anything off of that. The other weakness he has, actually, I take it back, is he's just plain ugly. Look at him. This guy's got no drip. None of it. What is his jacket? Look at it. And I'm going through the colors, and it's like, why would you ever wear this thing in public? Like, bro, come on. His haircut, definitely not it. And I go to a second costume, I'm like, okay, maybe I can find something that I like. This is like the most normal looking one. This one, the one I've been using. But then you kind of keep going, and it's like, bro, this is horrible. No one would wear this, ever. So how do you want to play this fool? Because he's kind of weird. Essentially, what I figured out is that you want to be kind of at the mid-range with him, just because you can use so many of your threats. So you have obviously like your flicker jabs, right? You also have like your psycho flicker. So these things are really good to have here. Then you, at this point, you have the psycho spark. And what ends up happening, I see a lot of the time, is that people try to challenge you with stuff, and because you have your psycho spark active, it hits them. And then if it hits them, if you're able to hit confirm and like, you know, whatever, you can just hit the rest of the spark, and it's pretty nice. The things that I don't like about him, I'm gonna say, his drip is horrible. His drip is horrendous. Like, if you guys, this is funny. I went through so many different colors online to see which one like vibed with me. I don't like any of them. I don't even like the one that's on the screen right now. That's the funny part, but whatever. I really hope they give him a better costume. And the second thing would be his kick buttons. They're kind of confusing, and they still mess me up. That's day one again, but like, it's just annoying that I have to think, oh, if I want to hit a straight normal button, I have to click crouching heavy kick, because that's not supposed to be a sweep. But yeah, but for a beginner, I think he's a little bit difficult to use, honestly, because you have to be conscious of your ranges a lot. His walk speed forward's pretty good, but backwards it's kind of slow-ish. His forward dash is decent, but his back dash is horrendous. So, you know, what's good about him is obviously he's got the kill rush, so it lets him do some stuff that other characters can't. So for Ed, we're gonna go ahead and give him 2 out of 5 stars for ease of use. So if you have any tips and tricks for Ed, or you want to tell me how I did, go ahead, drop it in the comments below, leave a like, and subscribe. This has been Enter Ed. It's got a stupid name.